All right. The judge, who apparently just hangs out in the courtroom all the time, even when there's not a trial going on. Your Honor, if I may, I'd like to test your witness testimony to see how it stands up.
Do you doubt me? Am I a new suspect? Do you think that I'm the one who did the crime? That I'm a criminal?
In a sense, I suppose you could say that. Even you, a judge. He's nothing but a common witness before Von Karma!
Silence in the courtroom! Silence, I said! Mr. New Prosecutor, recommended by Montgomery, Mr. Genius Prosecutor,
You bit your tongue again, didn't you?
As a defender of the law, I could never, ever give false testimony. You can even place me under oath if you want.
Very well, then. Your testimony, if you please. What did you see at recess, Mr. Juge?
During the recess, I went to the restroom. There was a window on the hallway side. In other words, I could see into the hallway.
What a weird building shape this is to have that courtroom like that.
As I entered, I saw the detective buying something from the vending machines. When I was about to exit the restroom, he had completely disappeared. A detective that goes missing while on duty. That sounds mighty suspicious to me.
Your Honor, can you please try to remain calm?
I'm so used to simply listening to testimonies that I got caught up in the excitement of getting to do one. It's nice. Gives me the shivers.
I'm sorry, Your Honor, but I'm afraid I'm going to have to spoil your fun now. Because this is an inquisition! Ha! Rebuttal!
During the recess, I went to the restroom.
Hold it!
Oh, really? Can you prove that you're capable of going to the restroom? Your Honor, why exactly did you pay a visit to the restroom, if I may ask?
Well, I had to make the poops. I had to drop some judgments. Well, isn't it obvious? What else do you go to the restroom for? Maybe. I knew it. You suspect me of some sort of tomfoolery, don't you?
Please, stay calm, Your Honor. This is going to be much harder than I anticipated.
I'm sorry. You're right. I need to think things through with a level head. I'm just nervous because so much has happened today with this trial. Let's see. I announced the recess and a time for us to reconvene. But having done all that, I still wasn't able to go to the restroom right away. Sometimes it takes some time, so I bring some light reading material and, I have to distract myself and you don't need to know, but...
And why couldn't you?
Mr. Faraday had been accused, so I had paperwork to process regarding a new prosecutor. Once I had finished that, I was finally able to make a mad dash to the restroom.
At least he stayed consistent on the going to the restroom part of his testimony.
There's a window in the hallway side. In other words, I could see into the hallway.
Hold it!
Your Honor, did you really go to the men's restroom? Are you certain that you aren't actually a woman?
What is the meaning of that statement?
I simply meant that perhaps you went to a restroom on a different floor.
I had to go for such a long time. It was all I could do to dash to the closest one to the courtroom.
I suppose it's only natural, given his circumstances.
I ran from the courtroom through the floor's main lobby and down the hallway. Once you enter, you can see there's a window just above the urinals. It was through that window.
And it was through that window that you witnessed Detective Gumshoe, Your Honor?
Yes, exactly!
Your Honor, there's no need to yell. I can hear you just fine.
I guess I put a little too much into that last answer. I'm just still excited to be here. Now then, let's continue with the testimony. As I entered, I saw the detective buying something from the vending machines.
Hold it!
Are you sure that the person you witnessed was Detective Gumshoe, Your Honor? Are you certain you saw him doing something with money? Gumshoe?
Yes, I'm absolutely sure. It's hard to miss someone of his stature, even from as far away as the restroom. Besides, I can't think of anyone else with that kind of hairstyle and big beige coat.
Well, I was simply wondering if you were mistaken in what you saw.
What? Preposterous! My eyes are as sharp as can be, ready to see through lies to the truth. Although, well, recently things do seem to be a bit fuzzier than they used to be.
Clearly, his eyes are not the only things that have gone fuzzy.
But allow me to say, with all the honor and dignity of a judge, I am not mistaken in what I saw. But when I was about to exit the restroom, he had completely disappeared.
Hold it!
He disappeared, but Your Honor, didn't you just say? I saw the detective buying something from the vending machines.
Why, yes I did. The restroom window looks over the courtyard and right into the hallway. But just as I was about to exit, I took another look and there was no one in sight. That led me to the only solution to this mystery. The detective must have gone into the crime scene, lobby number 2 at that point.
So he looked into the hallway from the restroom and over the courtyard, did he?
As anything goes missing while on duty, that sounds mighty suspicious to me.
Hold it!
Your Honor, I ask that you please remain calm.
No. I'm perfectly calm.
You're being anything but perfectly calm.
It appears that His Honor could not have been mistaken in what he saw.
I suppose so, given his line of sight. However, Francisco, why do you suppose our lines of sight are so different?
If you're referring to my height!
Can't you hold that whip still for just a second? Now, about His Honor's testimony. I believe his line of sight to be an important factor.
If it's that important, why don't you hurry up and tell him already?
I will, but there's one more thing I need to do if I'm to correct His Honor's testimony. I'm going to need to retrace Detective Gumshoe's movements. So he went to the restroom. And then I saw Detective buying something from vending machines, but when I was about to exit the restroom, he completely disappeared. I think we can present... What does it say about the Swiss roll? Dropped by the mysterious girl, it's priced at 2 for $6. We don't really need to check it. Other than that, there's one in there. Let's see. Do we have a statement? We do. I don't, fingerprints. Left on the hallway bench, Gumshoe apparently sat here as he ate a Swiss roll. This is the fingerprints are the clue.
Oh, what was that finger wag for, Mr. Edgeworth? I get very nervous when people start wagging fingers. Don't you know it's rude to shout objection while someone is giving testimony?
Ha. If you truly are a man of the law, then you must always be vigilant. For example, I myself never let an opportunity to shout objection pass me by.
Miles Edgeworth, it's one thing to be passionate about your job, but this is real life.
This is what some people may say is the pot calling the kettle black. Your Honor, I wonder if you might take a look at this for me.
What is that filth? How dare someone dirty the hallway bench like that? Who is the culprit? That party is hereby found guilty of uncleanliness.
If you must know, the uncouth bench sullier has already been placed under arrest, thanks to your earlier testimony, Your Honor.
Oh, well, that's good. But who was it?
We were able to discover something from the smudge on the bench, namely Detective Gumshoe's fingerprints.
Not happy with committing just murder. He had to go and dirty the courthouse too? Guilty! Guilty! Guilty!
Your Honor, please calm down. While it's true that the detective is the one who made the mess on the bench, we have not yet established that this action is related to the double murder.
What do you mean?
I believe that the detective bought a pack of Swiss rolls from the vending machine, and then promptly sat down on the bench to eat one. The cake crumbs and pieces of chocolate on the floor under the bench, and Detective Gumshoe's fingerprints prove my conclusions to be true.
Oh, but I still don't understand. Is this whole thing related to how I couldn't see him as I was leaving the restroom?
It is indeed. The window in the hallway was built rather high up into the wall, at around a grown adult's chest height. You know, not like a small child who's not a prosecutor yet. As evidence, I submit that Francisca herself was unable to see out of that window. No. I knew I shouldn't have used to hide as evidence. Basically, what this means is that the area directly under the hallway window is a blind spot when the hallway is being viewed from the men's restroom.
Then,
It seems that you have made the connection. If someone were to sit on the bench under the window, yes, even someone as large as Detective Gumshoe would effectively disappear from sight.
what?
Do you finally see, Your Honor? Your testimony has just proven that Detective Gumshoe was in the hallway the entire time.
Sorry. I didn't mean to say it with that much enthusiasm. All I wanted to do was try saying it once. Here, let me try that again. Hold it! Hold it. Hold it.
Is there something of value that you'd like to say?
Yes, actually there is. I remember something else just now. Mr. Edgeworth, please allow me to testify to the court one more time.
Even if he overruled him, he'd just keep on talking, wouldn't he?
That might not be a bad thing. The more info, the better in a perfect investigation, right?
Okay, more things. Bring it on, Jojo.
I suppose it's possible you can't see a seated person from the restroom window. However, that doesn't mean the detective was sitting there when I looked. Anyway, I was going to testify earlier about probably the most important detail. As I was leaving the restroom, I heard the loud bang of a gunshot. How's that? That is the testimony of one who judges the crimes of others.
Your Honor, could you try to state the important facts first next time?
I agree. Before you go around judging others, you should learn to judge your own friends.
Eek! I'm sorry. But honestly, I thought that sound was just a noise popper until just now.
Now that he mentions it, right before we restarted the trial, he did talk about that.
Oh, by the way, was there someone celebrating a birthday during the recess? I could have sworn that I heard a popper going off. Come to think of it, the other day with my grandson.
The most critical point of this argument is when did the judge look into the hallway, and whether that lines up with when the gun was actually fired. Your Honor, if I may, I'd like to clarify a few details in your testimony.
Okay.
I suppose it's possible you can't see a seated person from the restroom window.
It is possible, because that's what happened.
In that case, do you concede that you were overconfident in your last testimony?
Now, hold on there. I just said that it's possible you can't see a seated person from the restroom this time. But you know something? I don't think you know when the prints you referenced were left on that bench, do you?
No.
Well, you have proven that it's possible the detective was sitting. I still have a problem with just when those fingerprints were left.
He's right. I have yet to prove when the fingerprints were left on that bench. While he feigns ignorance, His Honor has seen a lot of life. This judge, I mustn't underestimate him.
However, that doesn't mean the detective was sitting there when I looked.
Hold it!
As we established, you went into the restroom during the recess. However, at what point in the recess did you look into that hallway?
After I called for a recess, I handled the change of prosecutor paperwork. Maybe about 20 minutes until we reconvened. Yes, that sounds about right.
Just as I expected.
What were you expecting? And I demand to know what that all-knowing smile is for.
Your Honor, that statement you made just now is very important. I'd like for you to append it to your testimony.
All right, if you insist.
Okay, that's gonna matter with the testimony from Bad, I think. Let's press it.
Hold it!
20 minutes before we reconvened. Very well. What did you do after that?
Let's see, I had to make some preparations, so I rushed straight back to the courtroom. I also had to track down a few pieces of paperwork for the various bailiffs.
So you rushed back to the courtroom despite having just heard a gunshot.
Well, at the time, I thought it was just the sound of a noise popper. I really couldn't think of any other explanation than someone having a birthday party. But now that this has happened...
I see. Thinking back, the judge did mention something to that effect when we reconvened.
Anyway, I forgot to testify earlier about probably the most important detail.
Oh, whoop.
Hold it!
This is gonna be nothing, but it's funny. If it's something that's forgettable, I don't need to hear it.
But all I did was forget to mention it.
That's the newspaper can other people, but not in a one karma.
Oh! But it's such an important piece of testimony. Please give me a chance to present it.
I suppose I have no choice in the matter. It's funny.
As I was leaving the restroom, I heard the loud bang of a gunshot.
Hold it!
This I also suspect is the balloon, but I don't think we can prove it yet. Your Honor, about what you just said.
I know, I couldn't believe it myself, but I heard it. Bang with the gunshot, I heard it loud and clean, and I had no objection. And I jumped in the air. Like this, yes, just like this. With a quick,
Your Honor, please remain calm when you're trying to explain yourself to me.
Yes, sir. Sorry about that. Now then, I must gather myself. Yes. When I heard the gunshot, there was one in the hall. I should know. I looked. There was no one there.
The judge's emotion circuits appear to be stuck on overreact. I believe that we've finally found the flaw in His Honor's testimony.
It certainly he's completely oblivious to it. But I guess I can't really expect him to be aware of it. Well, what are you waiting for? Hurry up and fill him in. At least that thing finally came in handy.
Indeed. Now let's see what happens when I present it to His Honor. Okay, so we're going to present two different things potentially. We are at least doing this. The loud bang that you heard was a balloon.
Objection!
Your Honor, there was a very large flaw in your statement just now. Oh no!
I don't understand what you're talking about.
Oh no!
Where is it, Mr. Edgeworth?
Never mind, Your Honor. Too soon!
Making such accusatory statements. I don't know how I feel about that.
I'm truly sorry, Your Honor. Penalties outside of the court! Oh no! Okay, so it's too soon. It's too soon for that. That's fine. Okay, so it's definitely the statement that we added to the testimony, which is into that hallway about 20 minutes before we were to reconvene. And that's going to go over to, I think, his testimony. He heard the gunshot right before the trial was about to start again. So if you heard it 20 minutes beforehand, you had to have heard a different thing.
Objection!
You're on...
I cannot allow you to make an objection.
What? Your Honor, I'm really sorry, but I cannot allow you to not allow me to make an objection.
The gods, I've been overruled, but...
Your Honor, there are simply too many holes in your testimony for my taste.
What do you mean by that?
You claim that you heard the gunshot during the recess, but that is simply not possible.
Mr. New Prosecutor, recommended by Manfred von...
Instead of biting your tongue, why don't you bite your tongue?
Eek!
I see you have no mercy for the elderly either, Francisca.
Don't talk back to me unless you want to be whipped in the back.
With your height, you need a stepladder of 4 to accomplish that.
Mr. Edgeworth, my ears are not that far gone yet. I'll have you know I can still hear just fine. And I heard the sound of a gunshot loud and clear with my own 2 ears.
Ha, Your Honor, I have here an interesting bit of testimony. It's from Detective Bad, and according to him, he heard the gunshot right before the trial was about to start again.
What did you just say?
Your Honor, you just said that you heard the gunshot about 20 minutes before we were to reconvene. How do you explain this glaring contradiction?
That can't be.
Unfortunately, that is the truth.
But I heard it clear as day. Bang! The loud sound of a gunshot.
The sound of the gunshot may keep returning to this point of contention. And that piece of evidence, I always did wonder why I found it where I did. However, now I understand what that gunshot the judge heard really was. Unfortunately, Your Honor, this is what really produced the gunshot you heard. This is where we bring out the balloon that I tried to present earlier that wasn't the right thing, but now I do, and now it's the balloon. I found this object in the hallway earlier.
What is that pink substance?
It may not look it, but this is actually a piece of a balloon.
I see. And I suppose you would like me to accept that pink balloon into the court record?
Your Honor, I present this piece of evidence in order to overrule your testimony.
What?
Your Honor, your argument goes as follows. You saw no one in the hallway when you heard the gunshot. Now, there is no guarantee that the detective was sitting on the bench at that time. Therefore, you believe he must have been at the crime scene, defendant lobby number 2. Am I correct?
Yes, that's exactly right.
Let me ask you something. Do you think that the gunshot you heard was produced by a real gun? I think I've said enough that even you can figure the rest out on your own. Your Honor, you were fooled by the popping of this balloon into thinking it was a gunshot.
What manner of trickery is this?
Thanks for the good effort you put forth, Miles Edgeworth. But if it was me, I'd have wrapped this thing up before the judge even testified.
Care to elaborate on how one ends something before it even begins?
Well, to be honest, I did think that the sound was a bit off from a real gunshot sound. But who could have guessed that someone would pop a balloon in a place like this?
That's true. One doesn't usually think balloons in conjunction with courthouse.
I want to trade these coins with you.
That's it. That balloon that girl was holding, it explains everything. Your Honor, if it makes you feel any better, you didn't lie once in your testimony. However, I can't really vouch for its accuracy.
Who knew that giving testimony could be such a difficult thing to do? I should really have more sympathy for the people who do it all the time. What have I done? I owe Mr. Gumshoe a very big apology. I will see to it myself that he's released.
Wait. There are still a few things I have yet to resolve about what happened in the hallway. Your Honor, I request your permission to further question Detective Gumshoe.
But why? I thought we just cleared his name.
Whether we did just now or not, I still cannot say. The only thing I can do for now is to continue in my quest for the perfect explanation. And to that end, I must resolve the remaining issues pertaining to the events that occurred in the hallway.
Very well. Bailiff, please bring Detective Gumshoe into the courtroom.
I must fulfill my mission and find the perfect explanation to this case.